Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Sorry for the weird angle. If you're new, welcome. We are super happy you're here, and if you're back again, thank you. You are super appreciated as well. I just thought I would turn on the camera and film while I am creating a mixed media piece. On Sundays, I either create art for submissions to local shows, or I just create because it's very calming, it's very zen, very just gives me a chance to just do something I totally enjoy. And today I am creating for me, for my house. So I thought, like I said, I thought I'd turn the camera on and bring you along. As you can see right now, I've almost got the base layer down on my canvas because the way I do some of my mixed media pieces is to lay a base layer and then kind of build up from there. And that's how this one's going to be. So like I said, I thought I'd just bring you along. I'm going to finish the base layer and then we'll get it dried and then we'll go from there. So just sit back and kind of enjoy the process. And I like for some of the papers to have wrinkles and some not. So if you'll notice, some are smooth, some aren't, and that's perfectly fine. And I just have pages of a torn up thesaurus that I'm using. And it doesn't have to be 100% covered, but like 90% for the piece I'm doing this time. Sometimes it's about 50-50. 50 base paper and 50 canvas showing through. It just depends on what I see for the image, the art. Now we're going to let this dry, and when it's dry, we'll come back and do whatever we're going to do next. Okay, guys. I came back and hit it with paint after it dried. I've got like brown down here for a table, and this is like a window with the sun coming in, because what I think I'm going to do is put a vase with some flowers up here. I was thinking using this scrapbook paper right here for the vase. It's going to add a nice color to it. And then this paper is going to be leaves, and the flowers are going to be these roses right here. These are some lace fabric roses. And then these are going to be mixed in too. And then of course we'll draw in a little bit too to make it all kind of blend. And then we're going to add some stamping around and just bring this piece together. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to cut my vase out of this scrapbook paper. And it's going to be the design like, kind of like skinny at the top, and it kind of rolls out like that. So I'm going to kind of round it as I cut. So let's see here. I'll go back and round after I kind of get it. Trying to think how wide I want it. Okay. Alright, I think I'll trim it up a little bit so it's a little... Let's see if I'm going to have to do it on this side. Yeah, I think that looks good. Yep, looks great. Okay. So what I'm going to do is put it kind of like where it's on the table. So I'm going to, for now, just glue it down, and then I'll go back over it when I'm done with decoupage. I got my favorite glue here. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. Okay. Now at the top, we're going to cut our roses. I'm going to use my bigger roses first. And it's these, and they're attached by the netting on the back. So I'm just going to cut them apart, and then I'll just trim the netting down a little bit. Okay. And put them up. Yeah, I think that's going to look good. I'm just putting some of my handy dandy favorite glue on them because they are fabric. I'm going to put them up a little bit because I want a stem. I'm going to kind of put them over like that because I want to use all three. And it doesn't take much glue, just a little bit to get them to stay on. Right there. Okay. I like that. Now I'm going to come back and put some little ones in, just like a real bouquet. And the little ones are these. And I'm going to come back and put this like right there. Yeah, this is going to look really good. And I'm just using what was in my stash. Like I said, on Sundays, I just like to either create for a show or for myself. And this is actually kind of both because there's a show for April that these certainly could go into. Maybe one up there and one up there. Yeah, I like that. Now in the space, I'm going to draw in the green stems. And then we're going to come back and make this pop. It's really kind of plain, but we need to add a little more. And what I'm going to do is get my gelatos out real quick. And get a little paintbrush. So hang on. Okay, so I've got my gelatos and a little paintbrush. And I'm going to do the vase real quick to make it kind of pop. Let's see, yellow. Yellow, pink. Okay, and I have a yellow gelato here. And on the yellow, I'm just going to come in and kind of color on it to make it a little more dimensional. And then I'll come in and kind of rub. There we go. And then dark pink. Green. I'm just coloring on the lines a little bit. And then just kind of rubbing them. Just to give them some depth. Okay, sorry. My camera died. I just took my gelatos and kind of highlighted all the lines on there. Now I'm going to take some green paint and just paint some stems and leaves up at the top, just using different mediums to give it different textures and looks. Because if it was all the same, it wouldn't be very interesting. Take full advantage of mixed media because that's what I do. I use as much of mixed media as I can. I'm adding just some curly Q things to come out because sometimes you know you have the extra greenery. Okay, it'll go better after I kind of get more in there. Now I'm going to do some stamping and some paint other colors just around to give it some texture and some interest. So let me get a few things to use for that and I will be right back. Okay, I got some cardboard to use to make some stamps and some sea sponge, which is a great way to add texture. I just took a paintbrush and kind of smeared it, and then I'm just going to come in here and And don't be afraid to stamp on your, like, vase, too. Whoops, that's okay. Stamp on your flowers. Stamp everywhere, okay? And I'm going to come in with some orange on my sponge here. Just a tad of orange. Okay, and then I'm going to come in and okay, and then I'm going to let this dry overnight and we'll be back tomorrow to finish it up. Okay guys, we are back for part 2. Everything is dry now. Yesterday we based our canvas with some book pages, then some white paint, some yellow paint, and some brown paint to give the illusion of like a table with sunlight. We cut out some scrapbook paper in the shape of a vase. We attached some fabric roses and other smaller roses up there, then painted in some leaves. We stamped on cardboard and a sea sponge, some blue and orange paint. Now today I am going to stamp with a music stamp. We're going to add some dimension to the leaves and we're going to outline our vase and we will be done. And this is, how to create mixed media on canvas. I hope you're enjoying it so far. If you are, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, hit that subscribe button and that little bell, and that will let me know you'd like to see more like this because I love doing mixed media. It is my passion. Okay, so I think what I'm going to start with is I'm going to cut some paper. Even though I painted the green leaves and the little spirally green on, I want to give it dimension. So for the leaves, I'm going to use some scrapbook paper and cut out. For the leaves, I'm going to use some scrapbook paper and cut out some leaves and attach them up there as well. And I have this scrapbook paper and I'm going to use it for the leaves. It actually looks kind of like feathers, which is kind of cool. And I'm doing the leaves different shapes, different sizes. And I'm going to set a few up in the easel so I can get them all cut out and all I'm doing is cutting leaf shapes out. Okay, and then I'm going to take them and open my glue. And then I'm just going to attach it. And you'll see a little bit of the paint leaf and a little bit of the paper leaf like that. Pretty cool. And I was just looking on the other side of this paper is some kiwis. So I might flip it over and make the kiwi the leaf too, just to give it some different dimension. 2 different kinds of flowers should have 2 different kinds of leaves, right? I'll put that one like right there. Oh, I like that too. In fact, I think I like that better. But I'll mix them up. I'll put a little bit of both everywhere. I've got to cut a few more leaves and attach them. I'm not trying to hide the paint leaves 100%, just a little bit. Not really hide them, but just accentuate them is more like it. I'm going to put one up. Now all the stamping on here and the book pages, those add texture and movement to your canvas. They're really an integral part of any mixed media piece is to have stamping or rub on, something that adds the texture. Otherwise it always looks kind of flat and boring. There. And you can see adding those paper flowers on top of the paint just gives it a little more interest too. Makes it not so boring. And then you see the curly cues that we did here, and I had some over there. I need to add some more. What we're going to do for that is I thought I would use this ribbon right here. It's just a green ribbon. It's not very in your face, but I think it'll add a nice movement to our piece. So, get a piece, and what I'm going to do, whoops, sorry, my scissors, is here's a curly one right here. I'm going to put my glue on the canvas and kind of put it where I want it, and then I'm going to bring my ribbon and I'm going to attach it, and then I'm going to like curl it up a little bit, and where it curls like over, and I'll bring you in close after I get it up. Now if you want it flat, you can just glue it down flat, of course, but I want it to have some movement, so I'm going to have it be kind of up and puffed up and curled. And then I'm just going to come in and cut, whoops, cut the ribbon and hold it for a second. Alright, there, we're done with that. Now what we're going to do is stamp some music notes with some green ink, just to add a little bit more interest and color and movement around our art. And it's just very light. And the final step is doing our doodling and our kind of highlighting up. So I'm going to highlight my vase. I'm highlighting the stems of the flowers, and I'm going to highlight the other side of the vase, or go around it, whatever you want to call it. And at the bottom, what I'm going to do is make some lines, like it's got a little bit of a shadow down there. Then I'm going to take and highlight kind of these. You don't have to do 100% of them. You can do just bits, or you can do the whole thing. I'm going to do them all though, because they all need a little bit. And I'm going to come up and do the inside of my paper leaves. Kind of give them some definition. And that's about it. I think I want to darken up the doodle around the vase a little bit more. And of course you can always doodle around in the corners a little bit. Do some curly cues if you want. There we go. I like it. We need some words on it real fast, and it can be any words. I have the Tim Holtz word pad I got here. Hobby Lobby. It was probably on sale, or it was when I had the coupons. Okay, and we're going to do, there's beauty in simplicity. So these are our self-stick words, and all I'm going to do is get my scissors. Whoops, sorry. Get my scissors and cut them apart. And I'm going to put them right here. It says, there is beauty in simplicity. That simple, that easy. And then I'm going to take the doodle pen and just go around them a little bit so they kind of stand out. Okay guys, here is our finished mixed media piece. I think it came out amazing. It's got texture, movement. It's a flower vase that doesn't require water, so our flowers will always stay beautiful. They're bright and light. So guys, thanks for being with us today. I hope you enjoyed this. Again, be sure and give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget, hit that subscribe button and that little bell so you'll know when we post more videos. Take care, and I will see you next time. Bye.